What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I have a really good clip to show you guys today, a really good video clip. And I think I'm going to do several videos on this because there was a hearing just a few weeks ago, and it was focused on SSI and SSDI recipients. And basically, it was focused on the backlog that the Social Security Administration is experiencing right now. Now, there are a variety of reasons why we're seeing a backlog, but I'm going to share with you some of these clips because some of these stories are really tragic, and it's a disaster when it comes to our Social Security Administration and how they're moving forward, and how some people are waiting over a year in order to receive information about their claim to see if they can move forward and start receiving benefits. Now remember, SSDI, this is disability, okay? So this is money coming from the Social Security Administration because you pay into the Social Security Administration. SSDI, that is insurance for you. So if you're working, you get injured, you're no longer able to work, you can apply for SSDI. Or if you just found yourself in a situation where you can no longer work because of disability, you can apply for SSDI. And so this is a crucial element of Social Security benefits. Now, SSI, it's a little bit different because SSI is coming from the general fund, whereas SSDI is coming from the trust funds as well as when you're paying into the payroll tax. So we're going to take a look at some of these different stories. I was thinking about putting it all in one video, but it would be way too long. It'd be like an hour-long video. The hearing itself was a couple of hours, and so I want to break it down, and we'll look at some of the different stories that they share, and we'll talk a little bit about the solutions in the future. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. I'm telling you, this is going to be an important video for you to watch, and this is for everyone, not just people who are currently receiving disability, because what if you are in a situation where you're working right now and you do get injured, and now you need to file a claim? You need to know what's in front of you when it comes to the backlog and how long it could potentially take. And so that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And once again, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And if you'd like to follow me on Twitter and Threads, you can at the TEC Show Live. Okay, I have an important announcement to make. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, but now that I have everything in place, I'm going to talk about it. WhatsApp channel. So I have a WhatsApp channel now. And what you'll get in the WhatsApp channel, you're going to get all my videos, so I will post every video, as well as I'm going to post documents and illustrations. So when I'm showing you guys illustrations and I'm going through them on videos, I'm going to actually post those as well. So you can take a look at them, you can share them with your family and friends. And so that's going to be a part of this WhatsApp channel. And then I'm going to post other news that's going on when it comes to retirement, Social Security, and just our economy in general. I think this is the best way to go. YouTube doesn't really have, in their community section, it does. I don't know who it goes out to. Let's just put it that way. So once I post something in the community tab, so if you guys are looking at the community tab, and some of you guys don't even know that it exists, but once I post something in the community tab, I have no control. I don't know where it's going. However, with this WhatsApp channel, there'll be a link in the comments. So at the very top of the comment section, will be pinned at the top. You'll see that link to the WhatsApp channel. You click on the link. If you already have WhatsApp, then they'll just tell you that they'll just show you the channel. But if you don't have WhatsApp, you can sign up. It's easy. It's actually a part of Facebook. So if you have Facebook, Instagram, you can just link up that way. But what I like about this is I can send the information out, and I know you guys will receive it. Whereas in the community tab, if I'm sending the information out, you don't always get it. And so I want to make sure you guys are getting this information. And I've had people ask me, where can I get the illustrations, or where can I get the information? A good example is the information on the letters that we've been sending out to lawmakers. People have been asking me, where can I get those letters? I have a link to that, but it goes to a Word document. This is much easier because everything will be in one place. And so please join the WhatsApp channel, and remember, it's going to be pinned at the very top of the comments. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the video. Here we go.
Get started, and certainly we'll recognize the ranking member for today, Mr. Pasquarello, when he gets here. But I first want to thank the witnesses for coming here today, and we will call this subcommittee hearing to order now. We'll start with my opening statement. We will Hopefully, by the time we get through that, Mr. Pasquarello will be here. We'll move to him and then go to each of you. So good morning again. For the first time in history, more than 1 million people are waiting on Social Security Administration to process their initial disability claim. Let me say that again. That's 1 million people are now waiting. On average, claims are taking 220 days to be decided. That's more than 100 days longer than it was in 2019, and more than 150 days longer than the Social Security Administration, what it defines as a minimum level of performance. The real world consequences for these individuals who are unable to work and wait for their disability decision is devastating. Many of these families and many of these individuals really get hurt by these delays. To help illustrate what the Social Security Administration's claim process looks like from a claimant's perspective, I'd like to submit for the record a statement provided to us by a beneficiary who waited more than a year for a decision that should have taken months, if not weeks. Without objection, I'd like for this statement to be entered into the record. She has a very, very severe condition and was unable to travel, and she was unable to be here to testify. But in place of that, instead of me reading the words and using that, I would like to play a recording of her statement as part of this opening statement. So with that, we will begin the recording.
It was a semi-typical day. I was leaning on the countertop in our hall bathroom, waiting for my 2-year-old to finish going to the toilet. My husband was in the bedroom sleeping off the previous night's third shift from his job, but had his phone on full blast in case I needed help. Suddenly, the muscles around my ribs cramped and I could barely get air in. I pulled out my cell phone and called my husband and said one quiet word: help. As I went to my knees, I thought to myself, I'm going to die on the bathroom floor in front of my 2-year-old. At that moment, the Social Security Administration had denied my claim for disability, stating that I was capable of work. If my husband hadn't brought my rescue medication, I would have died that day. Stiff person syndrome is an exceptionally rare, literally 1 in a million, permanent and progressive autoimmune neurological condition that the primary symptom is severe muscle cramps and spasticity. The spasms in me have torn multiple ligaments, broken multiple ribs, given me multiple attacks where I cannot breathe, and have left me screaming in agony more times than I can attempt to count. It also affects my central nervous system, causing things like seizures and vision problems. I do my best to complete something productive each day and be a member of my small family, but most of my time is spent asleep, either because of sheer exhaustion or the many medications I have to take each day. The two primary causes of death from stiff person syndrome are spontaneous apneic episodes and suicide. Let me repeat that. I am most likely to die from suffocation or suicide. It took me weeks to complete the Social Security application, both because of the breadth of information required, as well as system errors that would cause entire pages to empty of data. I received many unclear letters in the mail. Each time this occurred, I had to call up to confirm that my application hadn't been lost and that I was still in the queue to be deemed disabled. Stiff person syndrome is on the compassionate allowance list. These are supposed to be the cases where the illness is so severe that there doesn't need to be a wide assessment of validity of disability. However, my case was not treated this way. My case was denied. We were living on savings and a very small private disability insurance payment. Each month, we were calculating how much longer we had to live before the money ran out. I emptied my 401k. We had to pay bills late. We had to delay some treatments for my autistic son. Once my case was finally reassessed, my disability claim was approved and we received back pay, but my lawyer wasn't paid, and now I have to figure out how to address that issue. I am still awaiting my first monthly payment, but it has taken 15 months. This process can be made better for both employees of the Social Security Administration and claimants by simplifying it.
Wow. Words say an awful lot. I know, I almost wish at this point that we had our district office staffs here to tell story after story after story about what they deal with. And while the Social Security Administration claims it is working to address the backlog, we're seeing things go in the wrong direction. We're spending $100 million to fund outreach efforts aimed at increasing initial disability claims. And while they, on their own, disability claims have been declining on their own. Let me put this in plain English. If the Social Security Administration is unable to keep up with the claims that it has now, but is spending hundreds of millions of dollars to get more claims, it doesn't make sense, and it feels like that those dollars should be going to address the issue that is at hand. Over the past 12 years, the Social Security Administration has invested more than $300 million to obtain an up-to-date occupational data and to determine whether a claimant can work a job in today's economy. And although the SSA has acknowledged that this data is more useful and more accurate, they continue to rely on occupational data that is more than 30 years out of date. These are just a couple of examples of how the SSA is making life harder for claimants and making more work for itself. There are many more that we'll hear about today, and I hope that when we're finished with this, we will begin to be able to figure out better solutions so that we can help these claimants and help their families. That's what we should be about doing. So with that, I will yield to my good friend, gentleman from New Jersey and ranking member for this hearing, Mr. Pasquarello.
Okay, so you see that situation, a disaster, complete disaster when it comes to the Social Security Administration and this backlog. Now, we know that you have lawmakers right now talking about cutting the Social Security Administration. And so we already know this. Now, looking at what they're talking about when it comes to lawmakers, especially in the House, they're talking about not increasing the budget for 2024. And so having the same budget that they had in 2023 and 2024, that's kind of the talk right now. Now, you do have some lawmakers that are talking about cutting different government agencies, okay? So that's what they want to do as far as moving forward. So January 19th, we're going to hear more about this. February 2nd, those are those two deadline dates. So we have a continued resolution to those two deadline dates, but they're still talking about cutting these government agencies. And so if you could imagine the problem that the Social Security Administration is having right now, it's only going to get worse if they make cuts to the Social Security Administration. And they don't even necessarily need to make cuts. Like I was saying, you have some lawmakers that are saying, you know what, just keep the budget the same. So the budget for 2023, keep it the same in 2024. Well, if the Social Security Administration is running with the 2023 budget and you see the problems that they're having with approving claims, it's only going to get worse in 2024. They're not going to be able to hire more people, to look into technology and things like that. And so I just think it's interesting, this whole situation is interesting. Now you have lawmakers, like this lawmaker here, the chair, who's talking about different reforms and different things that need to happen, but the majority of that stuff is going to cost money. And that's where the problem happens. Because it costs money, you have lawmakers that'll say, oh yeah, you know, there's a problem, but we can't afford to pay for it. And so we're just not going to do anything. And so that's always the fear when we're looking at these different hearings. Because yes, they'll address the problem. But when it comes to the money, that's where they start saying, oh, I don't know if we can do this because it's going to cost too much money. And so they'd rather put that money into other things. We never hear this about our national defense. We never hear this when it comes to funding for the national defense. They'll always spend extra money for the national defense. And we're buying some of the same weapons over and over again. Or we'll buy weapons and then we'll send weapons to other countries, you know, send our old weapons to other countries and then we'll buy more weapons. And so they never have this issue when it comes to our national defense, when it comes to the latest and greatest weapons. But when it comes to the Social Security Administration and people filing claims, they're waiting a long time to get a response. And a lot of these people are like this lady here. They're going bankrupt, basically, because they now have to pay their attorney fees and they have all this other stuff that they have to pay. They've been waiting all this time just to try to get this disability claim, and sometimes they'll get rejected and then they'll have to appeal it and then they'll get in on the appeal, but that's just more money that they have to fork out now because the attorney's been working the case for this whole time. And it's just, I mean, it's really, at this point, it is a disaster. Now, this is just one story. I will show you guys some other stories, and you're going to be amazed at some of these stories that they share, because it's just, I mean, it really, this is a huge problem. Obviously, the Social Security Administration is struggling in a lot of different ways. The Social Security benefits, we know what's going on with the trust fund, and in 10 years, we know that we'll probably see that cut of 23%. And so imagine all those things that are going on with the Social Security Administration right now, and then you have people that are filing claims, and they're waiting a year or even sometimes 2 years just to get a response or just to work through everything. And it's really amazing to me, if you decline a person and then they appeal it, and they actually get approved, then why were they declined in the first place? That's what you have to really look at. And can they cut this off in the beginning and not get to a point where now we have people waiting a year or waiting 2 years and paying their attorney, the attorney fees all that time when they could have gotten it from the beginning? So I want to know what you guys think about all this. So let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.